Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Good to see you again. It's your boy Luffy, back at it with match 3 of the previous tournament from past weekend. And we've got a matchup against a Luffy player here. So starter deck Luffy with the ability of, you can attach one rested Dawn up. Geez, did I shake those dice enough? All right, so I got a 10. You got an 8. Sorry. Yeah, but you can attach a rested Dawn to a leader or character, and yeah, I'm gonna be playing as Smoker. Now, you're gonna notice that I'll be putting a lot of the cards down that I get throughout this game, so that my opponent can read the cards. He told me, prior to going into this match, he was like, "Oh, I've never played Smoker. I've never done any of the OPO2 stuff, so." I think he had a few OPO2 cards mixed into his deck, but it's predominantly OPO1 and starter deck stuff. So, yeah, we're just going to hop right into it, though. We both mulligan. So, I'm going to take a look. And, yeah, not an incredible starting hand, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like we got 2 Meteor Volcanoes. I mean, it's not bad against red. He plays Nami and, takes out, Chopper, cards like that. So he'll play Nami, start looking at the 5, and he's got a Chopper, a Brook, a Frankie, and he's going to pick up 5 cost Luffy there. Yeah. But we pick up Impact Wave, and I'll go ahead and put down, I'll let him know this is Garp. What Garp does. It looks like a little bit of the glare is hitting again. So one thing I'm going to try and do in the next tournament that I go to, by the way, guys, is I am going to try and maybe angle the camera a little bit lower and a little bit to the side, maybe just a different angle, so that we can try and avoid some of these glares. Because I know that, for some people watching, they might not be able to see what card it is, but I will do my best to commentate over it. But we got Sanji going down for him, and yeah, he's going to pass turn. We pick up 10 drop Kuzan, but going up to 4 Dawn here. It looked like we had a Borsalino in hand, but definitely want to try and get the value out of having this Garp on field at the moment. So my plan is to probably slap 1 Dawn on her leader, bring Nami down, swing with Garp, take care of it. Yep. So I'm actually going to bring down Sanji here to 1, and I grab my dice. One thing I like to do is, because it's not always easy to remember how many subtractions you do, but I'm going to bring him down to 1, and we're going to choose to actually get rid of Sanji here, use the Meteor Volcano, which is KO 1, a cost of 1 or less, just for 2 Dawn. And I will put both Dawn underneath there, swing for 7 at life. He picks up an Usopp. I absolutely loved that card when I played Luffy. It's so good. But my opponent doesn't know the black event cards very well, so it might be something that he won't play down just because he's not aware of stuff like Impact, Impact Wave and whatnot. But he is going to swing 6 at life here, and I'm considering whether I want to counter out or not. It's pretty early in the match. I'm not feeling too bad about it, but I'm gonna take the hit. We'll go down to 3 life. He's gonna pass turn, and we got a heck of a hand here. This is really nice. As much as it can be nerve-wracking to be, dropping 1, 2, 3 life early on, I feel pretty comfortable about it with Impact Wave in hand, having Borsalino in hand, knowing that I'll be able to play down 10 drop Kuzan. But I'm going to bring Nami down to 0 here and rest 3 Dawn and use Tashigi. And I'm going to bring, looks like bring Nico Robin to 1 and use Meteor Volcano again. The combos are feeling good. Swing for 7. He is going to guard point and protect that life. I was a little bit surprised by that because he's at 4 life. Yeah, I mean, hey, if it's a deck you're not, familiar playing against, it can be a little nerve-wracking. But he's going to put down Nico Robin again and leave himself 4 Dawn to mess with. And it looks like he's kind of bouncing between playing the Frankie, the 4-cost Frankie, or he's going to throw down the Chopper and probably just do a a nice big swing. He'll do 6 at life, and now's when we're gonna try and counter out. I don't want to get too low on life, but I'll go ahead and get rid of Garp. And with 3 Dawn left, there's not too much that he has that he was able to do. Yeah. And I was asking him right here, I was like, wait a minute, where'd you get the Dawn from? And then I realized, I was like, oh, okay. But that he used the rested ability. And it was funny, I was explaining to him, like, look, man, I used to play Luffy, I just completely forgot that you had already put down the Chopper and the Nico Robin. But it works out, And yeah, I think we're now up to 8 Dawn here, I believe. Yeah, we'll be up to 8 Dawn. I'm just going to set those 2 aside, probably going to save them for the impact wave. Considering using maybe Borsalino, but it looks like Great Eruption would be a good call here. Lower down Nico Robin to 1 cost, then use my leader ability to get her to 0, and then just KO her with Garp. So yeah, I'm just kind of doing some math in my head. That's the hardest part about this deck, is just kind of figuring out how to do your Dawn correctly. And yeah, I think I almost messed up right there, actually. I think I almost put 1 Dawn under the leader before I used Great Eruption. So we're going to Great Eruption, and Nico Robin's going to go down to 1. I get to draw a card, and then we will use leader ability. Got to do it in the right sequence, the right order of things. Yeah, and so I decided, I was like, look, I'll just put my trash up here, so if you want to look through any of the cards and have any questions, feel free. So I'm going to bring Nico Robin down to 0, which brings my leader up to 7k, and we'll do a 5k swing at life, KOing Nico Robin. He is going to take that, and we'll let Nico Robin go. And then I will do 7 at life. And I'm just being courteous and, like, letting him know exactly what I'm doing here. I just want him to understand, like, hey, a lot of these cards have different effects that you might not understand, or might not know yet, excuse me. So, I'll happily explain any of them, and I'll just reiterate what I'm doing and why it works this way because of, those moves and plays. And I love it. I love when people do that. It doesn't make me feel stupid at all. It makes me feel like, okay, thank goodness. I know that, this is all being played well, and we're doing the right thing here. Yeah. And so I told him again, I said, hey, just so you know, on opponent's turn, this is up by 1,000, so it's at 6. I'm just trying to be friendly, just trying to let him know, that, hey, I'm not trying to cheat you. We're just here for the fun, and we're going to have a good time. But I will counter out with Suru going up to 7, and he's going to tap one of those Rested Dawn underneath Luffy, and he's going to go for 8 here. I will take that life. I think we picked up a 4-drop Kuzan there. But, yeah, he'll pass turn. We'll swap it over, and I'm feeling great. I mean, this is a commanding position to be in at the moment. Have Garp on field, a Borsalino, opponent's down to 2 life, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh, and I just realized, I told him, I was like, hey, if you trigger and you choose to, use that Radical Beam, you don't get to keep it in hand. And he was like, oh, okay. So he wanted to keep it in hand. So I'll put down Kuzan. It gets rid of Luffy. And then he realizes, oh man, I'm in a world of trouble. I am in a world of trouble. This is not good. So yeah, he doesn't have too much of options here, but he's going to put down Nami, and that's going to allow him to look over a couple cards, see if there's something useful there. Pick up the Luffy 3-drop. 2k counter, but also potentially a body he could put on board. But not really too much you can come back from this position with. And he is going to play it down, but realistically, I mean, what do you do? Next turn, I'm going to have all of these on his board at 0 cost, So he chooses to swing for 6 here and leave 2 Dawn active. So I know he has a Radical Beam in hand, but does he have 2? So I'll use Borsalino and counter out for 1k, bringing him up to 7. Get to draw a card, and we go back, we reactivate everything. We got all 10 Dawn. Just kind of thinking about, like, what's the play here? We got Sakazuki in hand. We've got a few things. I could honestly probably just go for lethal. just go for lethal. He does have Radical Beam, yeah, but I'm not too worried about it. But I'm gonna go for 5 at life, and then I will KO the Frankie. That's the beauty of having that 10 drop Kuzan on board. And it feels so good that I've actually dropped Kuzan on board in my deck, to 2 cost. Or not to 2, Jesus, I'm saying that wrong. To 2 in my deck. I'm running 2 at the moment, and it feels extremely good. Yeah. So he is going to guard point and Radical Beam out of that. But yeah, he had to use two other 2k counters as well, because I swung for 14. And I pass. I got 2 Dawn active, but I mean, he's looking pretty rough here. He is looking pretty rough. The fact that he was able to counter out of the 14k Kuzan swing was pretty sick, though. Pretty sick. But with Borsalino on board and Impact Wave in hand, I mean, there's not really much that can be done. The tough part is last set, I would have 100% said that Luffy's the better red leader, but Zoro is just better now. And he realizes I just Impact Waved, killed his Luffy, and he was like, yeah, I don't have much of a turn after that. So good match though. We're 2-1 now and heading into the 4th match. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, and if you haven't already, just drop a like. Appreciate y'all. Peace.